to get into season 10, episode 2 of Belle Collective. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And come on over here and kick it with your girl. So we're starting this episode off with Lateshia and Miss Carrie, the newcomer. And basically, it's another case of Lateshia trying to summon someone to help her with the brunches. Like, Lateshia, every season is given kind of how she did with Akeisha, trying to get Akeisha to help her with the brunches. We do find out, I don't know if maybe I've been living under a rock or I just missed this, but I didn't know not Akeisha, child. I didn't know that Lateshia was a Belle's bondsman, and she had her, she worked in paralegal and stuff. I didn't know this. I wonder why she don't talk about that, a little bit more. Because we do know she's always throwing these brunches, these socials. I believe that's how she came on the show. I can't remember if she did say anything about her being in the law field, but I feel like she needs to focus a little more on this. The brunches and stuff are cool, but I think I would want to learn a little more about, especially her being a black Belle's woman. I'm interested in that storyline, but we know they gonna do what they think we want to see. So they do talk about Marie and her man, which I don't want this to be the talk of everybody's storyline. Marie is dating 2 men. Whoop-de-doo. Like, y'all acting like it's uncommon for women to date 2 men. Well, I know, let me backtrack, because I know some women, they don't date more than 1 man at a time. But me, when I was, single and stuff, baby, date them all. That don't mean you have to mess with them. That means that you dating and you're seeing exactly what you want. Like, because I feel like when you focus on one person, when you're supposed to be dating, you start falling for one person, and this person may not even really be feeling you like that, and you end up with your feelings hurting because you're putting all your eggs in this one basket, and then this person really, y'all haven't made nothing official, and then this person, like, they turn out to not really like you like that for real. So, girl, date them all. We know Carrie coming with the shade. She basically said that the Jackson party wasn't, it wasn't a coastal thing. So I guess where Carrie is from, the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, I guess they, they're a little more upper class, it ain't just like, no little get together. They actually party for real, which that's cool. Hey, Carrie, do your thing. But Lateshia was like, now here we go with the shade. Carrie does let, Lateshia know that she would be willing to help her, but they need to get some sponsors. And Carrie has signed up to help her. So we shall see how it goes. We see Marie talking to Essie at their place of business. And Marie is telling Essie that she wants to retire. And Essie is telling Marie that she needs to give her another year. Which I understand, baby, because if I could retire today, I would. So I get, you've been putting it in for this long and you're making good money. Then you have other sources of income as well, like the show and stuff. So you may want to retire, but another year, not, do it. Just if you do retire, I'm going to say this. If you do retire, have your ducks in a row. Because I don't need nobody else going out like Dr. Wendy. And this is not to shade her. This is just me just being completely honest. I feel like if Wendy would have stayed at her job, her 9 to 5, I know we don't want to work them. I understand it. But when you trying to live, or if Marie living her within her means, then she may be okay. But if you're trying to live above, your means, and then you start doing fraudulent activities, like I said before, not to bring Potomac over here to Mississippi, but you are black, they watching you 10 times harder. Not only that, make your coin and, just live your life within your means. Anyways, I I got off topic. But back to Marie and Essie, we do learn that Essie is still traveling back and forth because I think she's traveling to a place in Alabama. Yeah, in Alabama because she's trying to get a lung transplant. We do learn that she's doing a lot better than what she was doing the previous season. So that's good to hear. You know, my heart goes out to anybody suffering with any type, suffering with any type of sickness or anything. You know, prayers are up for her. I hope everything works out in her favor. Essie told Marie that she wouldn't need to be tired and trying to retire if she wasn't juggling these two men. Y'all, I know we gonna talk about Martin. I know I said I still do kind of think Martin is part of the storyline. I don't know if they've been dating for real, but we gonna talk about it like they have. Marie said that Martin showed her a different, side of things that she wouldn't normally do. Like, he took on a jet ski. She said that she wouldn't have done that, without him basically encouraging her to do it. So she's like that he showed her different stuff. But unfortunately, Martin has went back home to Germany, and she ain't heard from this man in 2 weeks. So now she's feeling a certain type of way, but it's obvious that Marie's heart is with her ex-husband, unfortunately. Like, I'm all for, like I keep saying, I'm all for doing your thing. I don't know if the right move is to just, because you have those feelings for said, to run back into said arms. I do understand that Martin ghosting you, that's a problem. That is a problem. But I don't know if that means, just because he not acting right to jump back and go full force with said. But for the most part, we learned that I believe she's gonna give Essie another year. But the one thing I do appreciate about Essie is she tell Marie the truth. Like, she don't sugarcoat it. She speak her mind. And we all need a friend like that. Like I always say, I love the people in my life who are going to hold me accountable. And not even just hold me accountable, but tell me the truth when I really don't want to hear the truth. Because having yes men around you will have your ass out here looking a damn fool. So I do always appreciate that dynamic between Essie and Marie. She seems like she's a really great friend to Marie, and she always keep it a buck to Marie, no matter if Marie feels a certain type of way or not. Yeah, so Marie over there in the bed was said. She is in this kitchen cooking them a snack, or making them some fruit, water, and juice. And basically, she's asking Ced, how did he feel about the party? Ced talking about the party was lit, child. And he had a good time, but he did feel a little awkward and uncomfortable with Martin being there. He said that he spoke with Martin, and, he let Martin know, hey, we got a baby together. We done raised a family together. I was with her this long. Like, Ced over there trying to put salt in the game. Even though I still feel like Martin is a paid actor. Like, we gonna talk about it. So now Ced he feels away. Which, whatever. He feels away, and Marie is basically like, she understands him feeling away. He's saying that if whatever makes Marie happy, that's what he's gonna go with. If she's wanting to, still date around and be with be with Martin and stuff, then, he will bag back. Basically, that's what he said. And she's like, she's working on it, and that to give her some time, he said it's saying that he's gonna be there, while Marie figure it out. It's one of those things where, if this is true with Martin, it's one of those things where he's a man. He see that she got somebody else has her attention. And now he want to speed things up because he know he kind of got the upper hand over Martin because they do have history. He know Marie loves him. Hell, he done fucked over Marie. So he trying to reason his way back in there because he know he got the upper hand. So now he's low-key giving her an ultimatum, but still playing it. To me, he's giving her an ultimatum, but he's still trying to play it safe and act like he's cool with it when deep down he really ain't. But he want to see what he and she gonna make. And if Marie is unfortunately, she's falling for it. She's going for what her heart feel. We know she loves Ced. So, hey, if she want to go be back with Ced, y'all, I mean, like I said, I've always had my thoughts about Ced. We ain't even fit to bring that up. But, yeah, if she want to make it up, work with him, child, I guess go make it work. Selena and Mike are still having communication issues. Mike came to the house and Selena was giving him the silent treatment, and Mike said, "What the hell wrong with you?" I don't know why that was so funny to me, but that was so funny. He like, "Now what is it?" So she says that Mike was out of town and he didn't answer his phone, which I would have a problem with that too, because what are you doing? And if you working, that's cool. But soon as you get done, you need to call me and let me know, oh, baby, I was working or I was doing this. This is why I didn't pick up the phone. But all that not answering the phone and you out of town, that's a red flag, because what the hell are you doing? So basically Selena is letting him know that she's not cool with that. She's saying that Mike is treating her like a girlfriend and not a fiance, and she don't like that. We do know that Selena is going through it right now because her son has passed, and I'm pretty sure that's very hard to get over. Well, you probably never get over it. As a mother, I can just imagine. My heart sincerely goes out to anyone who have lost a child, parent, or anything, because I know that's a different type of pain. So, my heart goes out to her, and she want to know what Mike got going on. So she's telling Mike that she's scheduling basically like a get together, well, not a get together, but like a double date with Lateshia and Glenn, to talk to them, because Lateshia and Glenn have been through it. And we know Lateshia and Glenn been together for a minute, and they have been through it. But scheduling a sit down to talk to them about y'all communication issues. I said this the last episode when she was telling Lateshia they needed to talk. Baby, Selena, baby, find somebody else to talk to, or get in counseling, because Lateshia can't handle her own situation, let alone yours. And I'm not saying she may not be able to give her good solid advice, but it's just something about talking to somebody who's in a worse situation than you. Well, I guess they could tell you what not to do because they're staying in their situation. I don't know, but I'm just like, out of all people, y'all talking to them too. But yeah, we are at Brunch, Mississippi with Miss Lateshia, and this is her event that she put together. Basically, is to promote women entrepreneurship, get them versatile and understand economics. So, like, I've always liked the mission of the brunch. I just hope it can actually grow to that. Like I said, it's a relaunch. She's got a partner now, so maybe it will be a little bit bigger. She did mention something early on about going on like to different states with this, so maybe that will be successful for her. So there's not a lot of people at the brunch, but you don't need a lot of people. You need just people to start out with, and they believe in your vision. So, like I always say, I'm looking to see us win as Black women. So, sometimes I may not completely understand certain stuff that Lateshia be having going on, but I wish her well, and I'm here to see her business grow. So Miss Monroe make her grand entrance, and the ladies, they got a lot to say. I will be honest, I did not like Marie's outfit, but I did like her hair. I know her hair was different. I thought it was cute, actually. I did not like the outfit, but it's okay. Miss Carrie, baby, I don't know. She got it out for Marie. She like Marie came in a spaceship with her spacesuit on. And, the ladies are all in Marie's business concerning Martin and Cedric. And they're saying, how all this stuff was going on at the party. And Marie got them right on together. And you know what? I ain't even mad at it. Marie is like, how many of y'all can raise y'all hand and say y'all didn't deal with infidelity in your marriage? Baby, everybody looking crazy. Nobody raised their hand. Not even newcomer Carrie. And it's like, I've always, I'm that person where, you know, women, we could be catty, we can, you know, gossip and whatever, whatever. We know this a show, we know they doing it for the coin, whatever, cool. And we know they do it in real life. But I'm like, Marie, why do y'all care so much? Everybody know what's going on. If my two men are cool, then why are y'all mad? Because y'all with men that's constantly cheating on y'all and y'all don't have the balls to step out, which I ain't saying Marie ain't been through it either. But it's just like, okay, we get it. She had two men in her party. We get it. And yeah. Also, Carrie did make the comment about Marie being late, and she's like, if that's your friend, Lateshia, that's your friend. I'm like, oh Lord, this fits to be another Portia and Shamia situation. Carrie fits to make this that. Child, Carrie is coming for a Marie, and I want to know why she got all this animosity for Marie. Where's she getting it from? Is Lateshia It's Lateshia in your ear, Carrie girl. And what's so funny to me is out of all the ladies, Latrice said false. Now Latrice, I love you, girl, but you know Cliff be doing what the hell he want to do. Let's be clear. Allegedly. How y'all know I'm gonna throw that allegedly word in there? She basically is trying to get down to the bottom of what's going on between Martin and Cedric, because she's like, you know, they had dinner or something and Marie introduced Martin as her boyfriend. Now all of a sudden she's, you know, with Cedric, so they're confused. And Marie is like, you know, death brought us back together. We did learn that Cedric's brother passed last episode, and that's when him and Marie kind of started getting back cool again. And she just basically like, she's trying to see what it is. At the end of the day, y'all know how I feel about it. I think Martin is a storyline. If he's not a storyline, it is what it is. If you want to go back to Ced, baby, do your thizzle, do your thing. Do I agree with just jumping back into Ced's arm? No, but it's not my life. So if that's what makes Marie happy, then hey girl, by any means, go back to your ex-husband. So Selena and Latrice sits down. We know that they haven't really been speaking with each other since Selena didn't work for Taste. Latrice feels away, and of course Selena feels away. In this, after listening to this conversation, I did side-eye Latrice, because it's one thing if Selena didn't have anything going on and she just ghosted you and was like, I'm not, you know, working there. I told you this, but I don't want to work there. And she was out doing other stuff. Then I feel like that's different. And given the circumstances of what's going on with Selena, I feel like Selena is very nice, because I don't know if I would have apologized. I guess her apologizing for not working there is okay. But all the rest of it, because Latrice made the comment that she felt like Selena was using her car wreck as an excuse. And it's like, that's very insensitive. Like, she had a car wreck. She said she was in back pain and stuff, and she couldn't do it. And it's like, yeah, you my girl, you my friend, but you mean to tell me I just had almost a near-death experience in a car wreck, and you mad at me because I'm not working at your restaurant? Now, because Selena did tell her, but because Latrice is saying she's looking at it as an excuse. But I didn't like that. Then she let Latrice know that her dog passed, and the dog was her son's dog, and that the dog was there when her son passed, so she felt like she was losing another part of her son. And Latrice is kind of just like, she agreed, you know, she apologized, and she agreed that they were cool, but I feel like Latrice low-key still feel a certain type of way just going off of how she was looking. We do know, if you've been a long-time watcher, I feel like Latrice has like a nervousness about herself. We know she laughs sometimes when she's nervous, and she's always like breathing real heavy and uneasy looking when she's having certain conversations. Like, she has a nervousness about herself. But being that Latrice has dealt with grief, and that not only that, you know, it's just sometimes the timing may just been off. It could have just been God redirecting Selena, because sometimes when you working with friends and stuff may not pan out right, and then a good friendship is now over because y'all decide to miss business together. So I understand, I get both sides, but I do feel like Latrice feeling away is okay, but I do feel like with the circumstances, Latrice should give Selena grace. It's one thing, like I said earlier, if Selena would have just said, I'm not doing it at the last minute just because. But given that, she has a lot going on, it's like, come on, Latrice. Like, I know sometimes it's hard to find another replacement, but that's just part of the game. You got to do what you got to do. Marie pulls Carrie to the side to talk about her. She's been told that Carrie was saying that she looked like she had on a space outfit and she got out of a spaceship. And like I said earlier, I'm not liking Marie's outfit. Her hair is cute. And basically, Marie is like, baby, if you gonna try to talk, you need to get rid of this drawstring ponytail. Now, I did have to agree with Marie on Carrie's hairstyle. It's like, Carrie, you throwing shade, but that hairstyle ain't gonna cut it, sis. But, Marie is basically letting her know that she's a Belle and she can't come in there looking any type of way. And I'm like, I think the best person that really gives the best looks on the show, well, that has been on the show, is Latrice. But, Miss Carrie is like, her stuff is timeless. And don't get me wrong, Carrie outfit, it's not bad. I think it's just more older woman. Don't take that out of context, y'all. But her outfit isn't bad, but that hair, But yeah, both of y'all could use some pointers if we being real direct here. But Marie is like, Carrie is coming in too hot. Basically, they gotta haze her, which I didn't really like that. But if Carrie can hold her own, it ain't gonna be no hazing, baby. So yeah, Marie felt a certain type of way, and we know. I just feel like Marie and Carrie gonna go back and forth, and it's gonna make for a good little, little TV, little entertainment. Before the ladies wrap up the night, Selena did invite them to her all-white event in honor of her son Quincy, and I thought her causing for this event is really good, because a lot of people go through grief and we go through it in different ways, and to have other people to talk to and have that outlet and that understands the dynamic and stuff that you've gone through is always good. So I look forward to the next episode to see how this event goes. We do know that Miss Carrie, she owns 3 restaurants, I believe, in Biloxi, off the Gulf Coast where she's from, and Mobile, Alabama. So yeah, I salute. And so Marie is just poking fun at Carrie, like, oh, well, you gonna have to get it together. You gonna have to get it together. But Carrie is like, baby, I do my thing. I don't want to look like anyone else. And I like that. I like people who dress for themselves. I don't like people who always, well, I ain't gonna say I don't like people, but I don't like it when people always dress for trends, if you know what I mean. I feel like that's not really a sense of style when you just go with all the trends. But if you just dress how you want to dress and have your own little look, you're not going to see nobody else with it on or similar. I always like that, because right now we are in a trendy world. Everybody be looking the same. And even as a little girl, I always been the one who, like, I like what I like. Kind of go against the grain. I don't want to be dressed like everybody else. So I did appreciate Carrie saying that. Selena is visiting her girls, and might I just say, Selena looks good, but Selena has always been a pretty beautiful lady with the body. She's visiting with Sanjay Star and Sky. We know those are her daughters. They was on here last season with their dad. We know Selena was introduced well, she wasn't introduced, but she came on last season. She's talking to them. Sky's pregnant, and she's checking on them like any mother would do. She expressed that, she has health issues, so it's a blessing to see her daughters grow up and to have their own babies, which, if you watched Dancing Dolls and stuff, I think Selena have seizures and stuff. So you know, of course she's happy that you, especially if you're going through anything, any type of illness, when you make milestones and stuff that you may not think that, you know, you will be here for, it's such a blessing. And I always pray that I grow old and great and get to see my kids grow up and have their kids and they put me to rest, and it's never the other way around. So I understand that. She's talking to the kids about, you know, what's going on with her and Mike. She let them know that he done went about another truck, another boat. And Sanjay has always been very mature to me. She like, yeah, because that ain't like no TV or nothing. This is a whole vehicle. And Selena is like, not just the vehicle, but an 18-wheeler. So I get her concerns. The girls, they seem to, well, they said that they really like Mike, which is a great thing. But Sanjay's like, we like him, but not over your happiness, which, like I said, she's always been very mature. Selena said that she grew up in a communicating household with her grandmother. Like, they talked and was open about everything. So she kind of has a hard time with that with Mike, because Mike is the opposite. I'm pretty sure if he doesn't know how to communicate, or if he have issues for real with communicating, he probably grew up in a household where, you know, how some people grow up around people, they don't really talk a lot, or they don't really, not able to express their feelings and stuff. So I appreciate her being open and honest with her kids, with her daughters, because I know they have a relationship where they can go to her for anything, and that's always a blessing. Like I've said in previous recaps, that's how I am with my children, open. Like, that's how my mother and my father wasn't as open as my mother. Well, I ain't gonna say he wasn't as open, but his side of the family, put it like that. His side of the family wasn't as open as my mother's side of the family. They were a little bit more secretive, a little bit more proper, in the sense of they want to look a certain type of way. But when it's bullshit going on behind closed doors and everything kind of slip up under the rug and they don't really talk about it for real, versus my mama's side, baby, they was just in your face, you gonna know what it is. So I get what she's saying, how, you know, she want him to communicate. You know, hopefully things works out for her and Mike, but I did enjoy this scene. We learned that Mike and Selena started dating when her son had passed, like right after he passed or right when he passed, something in there, and she felt like she was very vulnerable. But Sanjay did say that they were all grieving, and, you know, her mother took it really hard, as, you know, any mother would, and that Mike came and helped her because they felt like they couldn't do anything because they were grieving themselves, and, you know, that's just how it go. So they like Mike, and which I agree, you know, she might have overlooked some things because, you know, her son passed, is someone who's coming in and he's helping you through a very difficult time in your life. So she may have you know, overlook some things, but hopefully, like I said previously, they can work it out. So at the end of this episode, Marie go visit Martin. Well, they go sit down at Sal's and Mookie's. That's the pizza restaurant. They go sit down and they have pizza and they talk. But I do appreciate Marie being upfront and honest with him about her feelings and how she's basically still in love with Cedric, and how she felt the way because Martin basically ghosted her for 2 or 3 weeks when he went back home with his kids, with his other, because he's not legally divorced at this time, so with his family. And she didn't hear from him. So, you know, that's anybody. Like, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, that's a while, you know, for me not to hear from you. But I don't know, was it the right move to break up with this man because of Cedric? But only Marie knows. She says she's true to herself, and basically, in a lot of words, that her heart is with Cedric. And I mean, that's real. Like, at least she was upfront and honest with him. I still believe this was a storyline, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, just because y'all broke up this quick. But at the same time, if it is real, I would have liked to see Marie date a little more than just breaking up with somebody for Cedric because you and Cedric don't have great history. Like y'all have, I ain't gonna say y'all don't have great history. They have history, but they've had bad times as well. And it's a reason you divorced this man. Let's just be clear. It was a point where Ced didn't come home, and like he put you through it. So I understand y'all do have that history. It's like, see what else is out there. So even if Martin is not, gonna be in the picture anymore, at least date and give other men a try, not a turn, but like a try, just see what they about. But she didn't let Cedric get into her head, baby. Maybe Cedric could put it down, I don't know, but she has broken up with Martin, and Marie is taking it a little bad. She's crying and stuff, and she's like, I knew this wasn't gonna be easy, but Martin is taking it a lot better than me. And I'm like, maybe it's because it's the storyline, or maybe it's because he like, shit, it is what it is, So, anyways, that ends the episode. And yeah, I'm ready for episode 2. We see a clip of them saying, at Selena's event. And I'm really ready to see how that event goes. And that's all, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.